Thank you, Mr President. My question without notice is to the Minister representing the Minister for the Environment, Senator Cormann. National electricity market data has just shown that electricity emissions have leapt in the 2 months since the carbon price was abolished by an annualised rate of 1 million tonnes. Is achieving the largest leap in greenhouse gas emissions in 8 years something the government will proudly list in its anti-environment achievements of its first year in government?
The Minister for Finance, representing the Minister for the Environment, Senator Cormann. An order on my left. My right. Apologies to the left. Senator Cormann.
Thank you very much, Mr President. I thank Senator Milne for that question. Senator Milne, when we came into government, we inherited an economy growing below trend and below expectations. And you know what the result is of an economy that grows less? It emits less. And you know what we've been working on? We've been working on growing the economy more strongly. And you know what happens when you grow the economy more strongly? You emit more. And you know what? I mean, we can actually stop emissions altogether. We can stop emissions altogether if we all just sit here quietly and do nothing. But you know what? On this side of the chamber, we actually think that it is good to have a strong economy. We think it is good to build a stronger, more prosperous economy and create more jobs. And you know what? I mean, we actually know that here in Australia, our businesses here in Australia are actually by and large more environmentally efficient than many of our competitors in other parts of the world. And you know what has happened with the Labor Green carbon tax, which I'm sure you will want to reintroduce? It helped make businesses in other parts of the world, manufacturing businesses in other parts of the world that were higher emitting businesses in other parts of the world. It made them more competitive than businesses here in Australia. And as we were losing market share to China and other parts of the world, guess what? Not only did the jobs go overseas, not only did the economic activity go overseas, the emissions went overseas as well. And for the same amount of economic output, these emissions were actually higher. So you might have been reducing emissions in Australia a little on the back of shrinking our economic growth potential, but you actually increased the economic growth potential in the rest of the world and led to increases in emissions beyond that. You are actually helping to boost global greenhouse gas emissions on the back of the completely destructive carbon tax that you and the Labor Party imposed on the Australian people.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Milne, a supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr President. I thank the Minister for being honest enough to brag about increasing greenhouse gas emissions, but I now ask, as a result of this great leap in greenhouse gas emissions, can the government now confirm that coal is displacing gas, wind and hydro in the national electricity market and leading to higher profits for Liberal National Party donors in the coal mining and coal generation industries?
Minister.
Well, Senator Abbott just hands me this article that appeared in the Mercury in Hobart in 1991, where a gentleman by the name of Dr. Bob Brown, do you remember him? Dr. Bob Brown. Dr. Bob Brown made some statements on what would be good for the environment. You know what it says? Coal-fired power, best option. Coal-fired power, best option. Did you know Dr. Brown back in 1991? Were you sort of shining yourself to the trees with Dr. Brown back in 1991? I mean, guess what? Here in Australia, on this side of the chamber, we want to continue to grow the economy strongly. We want to continue to create opportunity for people to get ahead. And you know what? We want to ensure that across Australia we can have affordable and reliable access to competitive energy sources. And of course coal will continue to play an important role, as will gas, as will renewable energy sources. But of course we need to ensure that it doesn't undermine our capacity to be competitive.
Thank you, Minister. The time for answering the question has expired. A final supplementary, Senator Milne.
Yes, thank you. And I note that it was Liberal Senator Ray who wanted to build a nuclear power station on Flinders Island at the time. But my question is, will the government be listing within its achievements?
Order on my right. Just a moment, Senator Milne. Order on my right. Order. You too, Senator Williams. Senator Milne.
Thank you, Mr President. Will the government be listing in its Year 1 achievement that it has deliberately increased the risk of more intense and frequent bushfires, floods and crippling droughts across our country? Is that something you are proud of?
Minister. Order on my right.
Mr. President, as much as I would like to take that question seriously, I just wonder whether I should just say that we have to agree to disagree. You go into the community and you say that because we want to grow a stronger economy, that's why we're causing bushfires, and we say that we want to build a stronger economy because we want the young people of Australia to have an opportunity to get ahead. Now, you get whoever you can convince to vote for you, and we get whoever we can convince to vote for us, and then why don't we just leave it at that? Because, I mean, the truth is that your policy, the policy that you and the Labor Party put in place in the last period of government, actually made the global emissions problem worse. Because all you did, I mean, in the context of a continuing demand for certain products and services, you shifted the supply, you shifted the manufacture, you shifted the creation of those products and services into areas around the world, along with the jobs that go with it, where the emissions intensity was higher than would have been here in Australia.
Thank you, Minister.